Welcome back to the New Music Alliance Radio Hour. I'm Mistress Miriam. I'm here with Mark Ramone, and I hope that you've mellowed out. You just heard Mary Rodgers, Linda Lavin, Stephen Sondheim, the boy from the Mad Show, off the Stephen Sondheim sound book. And we start off with Jim Beloff, Minor Chords Happen. We know we've gone to a, a new planet here for sure.
Yeah.
But I hope you appreciate this.
Oh, I do. There's so much to talk about here.
So if you are like a real Stephen Sondheim fanatic, like
Like you.
like me, and you too. I mean, come on, Mark, you're a fan. And Stephen Sondheim was from Ridgefield, Connecticut. Ridgefield? Was he Ridgefield? Was it
Yeah.
Ridgefield? Yes, Ridgefield, Connecticut. And if you're really into Sondheim and you're really into musical theater and you're really into like the nuanced stuff, you know the boy from. You know this song. This song appeared in the Mad Show. Now, Stephen Sondheim only wrote the lyrics, but if you know anything about Stephen Sondheim, the first two musicals that he wrote, he only wrote the lyrics for. And those two musicals you might be familiar with. One was called West Side Story, and the other was called Gypsy. He was supposed to write the music for Gypsy, but he didn't. So he just wrote the lyrics. And he always said, I'm not really a good lyricist, which is a big joke because he's brilliant. Mary Rodgers wrote the music to this. And Mary Rodgers is Richard Rodgers' daughter. And Mary Rodgers is Adam Guttle's mother. And Adam, of course, went to Yale and is a musical theater writer in his own right. He wrote The Light in the Piazza, and he's like the most eligible man in New York. He's handsome and he's brilliant and so many things, but we won't get into that. The Mad Show, before there was South Park and the Book of Mormon, there was Mad Magazine, and the Mad Show, a genuinely hysterical review, which innocuously opened at the Off-Broadway Theater de Lee in New York City on January 9th, 1966. The show is the brainchild of Larry Siegel and Stan Hart, who had conceived a series of skits written in the same spirit of the zany humor of the magazine. And they got Mary Rodgers to write the music. And I also do believe that Joe Raposo played the piano for the Mad Show. Joe Raposo, who wrote all the songs for Sesame Street as well.
And isn't this like the precursor to the Rowan and Martin's Lavin, this
I
Mad Show?
I I don't know that. Is it? Yes, it
I
is.
believe so.
It's yes, it is. This is the precursor to Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. This is amazing stuff. But you probably also, if you're musically inclined, get the sense that this is kind of like a little takeoff on Hobim's song, The Girl from Ipanema,
Yes.
which it is. And the joke is that, of course, it's the boy from, and that this woman, and Linda Lavin is singing this song, and she sings it very deadpan, that she doesn't really understand why this boy is giggly and isn't sort of interested. She's crazy about him, and he has, there are a lot of things she doesn't really get about him. Obviously, he's gay, which makes me think about why the Grinder app always is crashing during the Republican National Convention. Nonetheless, it's just a wonderful song, and everything about the Mad Show and the story, everything is just is terrific. I hope you enjoyed this song if you're not familiar with this song. And if you are familiar with the song, that you sang along and enjoyed listening to the song. But I thought that it paired very, very well with Jim Beloff.
Linda Lavin, who we know from Alice, right? Isn't she in
Yes.
that show? But I love her wispy, kind of submissive vocals on this. The great play on the
Uh, uh,
parody of
uh.
the girl from Ipanema. This is so cool. I love it. I'm definitely going to be looking up the Mad Show on YouTube now.
There's definitely a video of Linda Lavin singing this when she performed, later in cabarets or whatnot. Linda Lavin always sang The Boy From, it became part of her repertoire. And doing that, why, da, 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 she's singing that funny little voice. Years later in the 90s, Linda Lavin came to New York and you would see her everywhere. Like I'd run into Linda Lavin everywhere. She loved to talk to people.
Oh,
She'd always wanted to schmooze with everybody. She was very friendly. She was like doing theater and stuff. And it just seemed like everywhere you went, there was Linda Lavin. And she was just such a nice person, so talented.
mhm.
This is a real character piece. If you're an actress who's going to sing this song, you got to bring something special to it.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can't do it like Linda Lavin because Linda Lavin does it like Linda Lavin. You got to do
Hmm.
your own version of the song. Yes, I want to sing this song. I've never done the song. I knew you were gonna, I knew.
That would be so cool.
Oh God.
So you brought to me the Mad Show that I didn't know about, and then you also brought to me Jim Beloff. Minor Chords Happen. What an amazing person this is.
He's so interesting. Jim Beloff is somebody who, I don't know, I discovered him somewhere along the way, and I had him, you and I both have collections of people that we want to play at some point in our show.
Hmm.
At some point, we put them into the show, and he's been on my list. And he's from Meriden, Connecticut. He's a graduate of Hampshire College.
Ah.
Yes, so he kind of fits into our world in two ways. But Jim is an arranger, he's a publisher, he's a musician, and he is like the king of the ukulele.
Yeah.
He's the publisher of Jumping Jim's series of ukulele songbooks with over 100,000 copies in print.
1 million.
1 million, excuse me, 1 million copies in 100,000. Like, who cares? A million copies in print. And the series includes the Daily Ukulele, one of the best-selling ukulele songbooks ever published. My God. And there are people who are like into his stuff, including the late George Harrison
Yeah.
was seriously into he has promoted the ukulele. He has he's a musician himself. He's played with so many people. And this album is a brand new album recorded in 2025 called Mid-Century Modern. And yes, people, you must look this album up because it's got like the most gorgeous mid-century house on the cover.
Oh, yes.
If this is
Oh,
his house,
overlooking some valley. Oh, it's gorgeous.
I don't think it's Meriden, Connecticut.
It could be. There are some cliffs out there.
There are cliffs in
There's
Meriden?
some very popular hiking trail out there, and everybody goes to it. There's like this little castle rook at the top of
Oh,
the hill. Yeah,
that could be his house. It's in Meriden. Like it's because he lived in LA for a while. I could see that house being in Los Angeles.
there. Yeah, yeah.
And what I love about this, the minor chords happen, is it's been a moody year. And, but I love how he plays with the minor and the major chords and the moods.
And should we tell everybody kind of like your sad songs, your ballads, maybe I don't know, are usually in like a minor chord instead of a major
Yes,
chord, right?
exactly. Sad songs are usually in minor chord, happy songs usually in a major chord, all Yiddish music, like because it's all very, even, is all in minor chords. People always say, oh, why is Yiddish music so depressing? You know, it's all in minor chords. And major chords, you're always John Philip Sousa's in major chords, it's marching music.
Yeah.
These are givens when it comes to music.
I bet Frank Black was doing a major chord, right?
Very much in the major chords, but they do evoke emotion for sure. And minor chords do evoke, sort of a sad sort of, and he's talking about his emotional life via the chords. And if you listen closely, this is not heavy on the ukulele. He is definitely playing the ukulele. It's he's a beautiful orchestration on this, I must say. Really gorgeous orchestration on this track. It's really like a bipolar wonder of a song. It's very like,
Mm.
yes, it's very, if you are a moody type of person, you kind of understand this. And if you've lived through 2025, perhaps this is a song that just speaks to you because it's been a moody year.
Jim has said that Minor Chords Happen was an offhand comment made by a member of Darlingside at a 2024 concert. I would love to hear the rest of the conversation.
My God, like little local references. Oh my, that's so funny. That's hilarious. Oh, I definitely want to hear. Jim, we need the rest of that conversation. Or darling side, any of you who are listening out there,
NewMusicAlliance@gmail.com.
that please contact us. We want to hear from you. Well, it's a very fun album, and he's a very interesting guy. And perhaps we'll listen to more of him on the show if we check out more of the album and see what else is out there in Jim Beloff land, which is quite its own land, might I say.
So, Miriam, how are we going to wrap up the show in memoriam?
And we're going to remember three local artists who died this year. Everyone is significant, and every year we lose people all over the world who've contributed so significantly to people personally or people on an international level, on a national level, or on a local level. But these were three very local people in our music community. We lost William Finn, the great musical theater writer. So we're going to be hearing some music from him. We lost Chris Haynes, who was very local here in Northampton earlier this year. And we recently, only last week, lost Evelyn Harris very suddenly. So we're going to start this block off with the trio that she was in, the Stomp Box Trio, Way Down in the Hole.